Hello, Springy Back, part 6. Fretless, headless, bodiless, senseless, mindless bass. Okay, in this episode, Honor the Jack becomes Honor the Jill. Right, now you have all been looking at this going, that looks stupid. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I've been looking at this and going, that looks stupid. Fresh eyes can transform a concept. Today, Sam and I had to pop back here to get some stuff from the garage. He looked at it for the first time in the flesh, and I said, "What do you think?" And he went, "Yeah." I said, "What do you think about the male appendage that's sticking out of it?" And he said, basically, "It looks shit, get rid of it." He didn't say that, he's much more polite, but so Jack is going to become Jill. So I'm going to end up with exactly the same bass that I've had twice before, Honor B2A. So I've taken a Honor the Jack full bodied and chopped all the bodywork off it, and I'm going to make it into a B2A. Which leads me back to, what do I do about the strap button position, needing it to be further this way? I've overcome this problem before with a bracket I made, but to be honest, it was a bit pants. It was £2.40 something from Wix. Did the job, but it didn't look pretty. So I've decided that this would be a challenge to make something that actually functions but looks nice but doesn't stay with the guitar. So in my head, lots of schemes and some very, very good input from Sam on a few little points has made it that it will be invisible apart from when it's in use. And I probably need to do some diagrams. So that's coming off. I'm going to reshape this. Probably now going to get rid of this little end, because I'm not going to leave a dink on this end. So we just turn it into a cricket bat basically, and try and explain what the concept is behind this. Right, I shall attempt to explain how we're going to achieve this. Right, let's go down here somewhere. Imagine that's the base, and I want something to extend to a strap with a strap button on the end of it. Now I don't want anything sticking out the base, so what I've sort of come up with, I was thinking I need to put something in here that I can connect some sort of rod to with a strap button on the end of it to attach to the strap so it falls in the correct position. Well, this is amazing, actually drawing through a camera. Weird. Anyway, so what I figured was this is obviously out of scale. Imagine that's about 10 millimeters. Sewer. Get closer. Right, a bit of bar, round stock rod, metal rod, about 10 millimeters by, I don't know, an inch, 3/4 of an inch, whatever. Okay, 25 mil. I'm thinking drill and tap this somewhat. That's my impression of a thread inside there. So that will be drilled out with an 8mm by 1.25 tap, and actually it's going to go further. It's going to go a lot further down. And then in the bottom there will be a hole drilled, which will take a self tapper and then another piece of rod, however long I want it. Whoops, this is terrible, trying to look through the camera while I draw it. Right, another piece of rod shaped, with an 8mm thread on the end that will thread into that. So initially I was thinking this piece will be sticking out the front of the guitar, but screwed in a long way with the self tapper, threaded, and then the other piece of bar comes along and threads into it. And then on this end will be drilled and tapped to accept a set screw that fits inside one of my locking strap buttons. So that'll be drilled and tapped. It's probably like an M3 or an M4 something, I'll work that out. That'll be an M8. That'll be an M8 by 125 socket, and that will just be drilled in the end, a hole, so I can put a self-tapping screw into the base, which gives us a little sticky out bit. And then Sam suggested well, if you're going to have that sticking out there, why don't you recess it into the guitar? And then I was thinking, well, how's it going to stay in there? Well, the same way it was going to stay on the end would be, it'll have a self-tapping screw inside and probably be glued in as well. So all we'll have on the outside of the guitar is just a threaded hole, and then the extension piece, however long I want it, with the strap button set screwed onto the end, can be taken. Take the strap off and you can just unwind this, and that can go in the case, so the guitar then has no sticky outy bits. Okay, we'll have the tuners sticking out the back, the 4 tuners, and we're going to have a locking strap button this end, and I shall probably put a locking strap button that end just to even it up, even though the tuners stick out further. So what I might do is take some more of this bar, and I might actually just make myself some little spacers with a hole straight through the middle, and then put a pair of locking strap buttons on the end so it can sit on them on the floor, not on the tuners. I don't think it's a problem, the guitar sitting on the tuners, they're quite solid, but any movement on them takes it out of pitch. So I think I'm probably, if I'm going to be doing this, I might as well be doing this. Sorry about the terrible pictures. And right, something else I've had in the back of my mind is the, well actually, let's not go to the guitar, the fretboard. So I was going to take the frets out and then fill in the fret slots with maple or something light, so that I've got somewhere as a guide, because you have to play the notes bang on the line when you've got no frets, as opposed to between the lines, preferably close to the fret. Fretted, you play just behind the fret. Fretless, you play bang on where the fret would have been. So I was thinking, yeah, put me fret markers in, but then I was looking at 2 or 3 fretless bass videos last night for no other reason than to look at fretless bass videos, because it's sort of what I'm doing at the moment, and all the ones with the fret lines in just look like fretted basses. So they just look like that, with or without dots. And then you get the odd one, which didn't have any markings at all on it. And they look really nice, and all they've got is maybe some dots, like here, just the dots on the end. Maybe some little lines where the frets were. And they just look much nicer. And if you're going to build a fretless, you might as well have no fret markers. But obviously I need the fret markers to play because I'm not that good at finding the notes. But then the whole thing about fretless is you're supposed to be able to play it in the dark with the lights out and just hear what you're playing. You're supposed to be able to slide in and out of these notes and use your ear. I'm just lazy. So I think what I'm going to do at the moment, which is obviously going to change 10 times in the future, is I'm just going to have just a little bit where the frets used to be, just a little dinky slither, which will be visible just on the top of the neck and around. Let's make this more isometric. Just imagine that's the top of the neck. 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'll have my dots along the top edge of the neck, like that, which I can actually just leave in, the ones that are already in there. But this, where are you? Where's my pencil? When I take the fret out, and I've got this little gap here, which is out of focus, sorry. That's going to be maple, so I'll be able to see the little line from the top edge, and then just, sorry, the camera work is shit. And then just a tiny bit at the top. And then all of this, dark, as dark as the fretboard. And I've already got dots on the fretboard, and I've got dots there. So if I have just a little dinky bit, I think it'll look much nicer. Obviously that's all going to change 20 times. So plan for now is, as you can see, I've been drawing on this with pencil. It's going to end up pretty much symmetrical with that, apart from this shoulder will be longer than that shoulder, which is traditional. That little nicky bit's going to come off, extend them with some collars, put some blocking strap buttons on both sides, chop all that jack off, turn it into Jill, shave all this down, find the nearest lathe and have this made. Although I can actually make all this without a lathe. I've got it's drilling and tapping, all of it's drilling and tapping, so I don't really need to do it on the lathe. Tapping and dyeing, a lot of it. We do have a lathe at work and a guy that's pretty good on it, so it may go to him or whatever. But that's where we get to. So having owned two bases that look exactly the same as what this is going to be like, and having got rid of them because of this strap button malarkey and the fact that I just change my bases as often as I change cars and bikes, that's where we are now. Okay, none of that's going to happen tonight. It's Tuesday, 3rd of September. Anyway, Tuesday the 3rd or something. It is September, yeah. None of that's happening tonight because I've got a band practice in about 1 hour. So I will maybe put this up now. I probably will, because it's already about 10 minutes of me waffling again. Sorry about that. Or I might not put it up. I might chop off Jack's bit. Sorry, Jack. Turn him into Jill. Hello. And peas and loaf. See you next time. Ta-da. I've been Springy.